Good morning, friends and foes. Look at that seamless transition. Look, I'm a trained professional. I make this look easy. Don't try this at home. Welcome to Back of the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturday mornings of our youth while navigating adulthood today. I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, John Pyka. You can call me Johnny, and Avengers comic books, Star Wars movies, and Saturday morning cartoons made me who I am today. And when I was a kid, we didn't have smartphones or tablets at the breakfast table. We were sitting down in our pajamas with big bowls of cereal to watch cartoons, read comic books, watch Godzilla movies, Kung Fu movies, pro wrestling. And in between cartoons, comic books, and Kaiju, we were literally reading the back of the cereal box. That was our portal. That was our world. That was our newspaper. And for a kid, that was everything. And that's what this show is all about. Revisiting that fun, reclaiming a part of our childhood, and just celebrating that as we navigate adulthood today. And this morning, I'm going to be doing a taste test of the Kellogg's Wednesday cereal. And joining me in the virtual rec room is your emotional support Canadian. She is a fantastic actress and voice actress. She is available to do your audiobook and your commercials. We'll get her to do a sample here on air. But she is a fan of all things Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and I'm probably missed Ghostbusters, Batman, geekdom in general. Please welcome Willow Skylor.
Good morning, everyone.
So Willow, give us some of that great radio voice.
I finally got a job.
Well, you've had a job. You just weren't happy with the job.
Okay, I love working at PetSmart. Don't get me wrong. I have a shift today, and we'll see where that goes after I tell them that I can only work weekends. I got a full-time job working at Europa. It is an eyeglass distribution center. So I'm a librarian for glasses.
Interesting. A librarian for glasses. You are an optical librarian.
Ooh.
I like that. So, excuse me. Little dust in my throat here. Aubrey Cavitt is having technical difficulties. She's trying to join us. And so, Willow, if you would just let her know that we're going ahead with the show and she should just keep trying to log in. And when she's able to get in, great. But we gotta move because we got a big topic to talk about. It is Scoobtober. October is Scoobtober. And this morning, our main topic is going to be Scooby Doo meets Batman. This is the 2 episodes from the new Scooby Doo movies, and we'll be talking about those in just a moment. But we have to thank the people who make this show possible. We've got our Cereal Box Super Friends, and we just added a new Super Friend, and she has not made the list yet. That is my fault. So Blaze Corbett is our brand new Patreon supporter, and we really, really appreciate her coming on, and welcome. Now, for any of you who are Patreon's supporters at the $2 level or higher, you have the link to join us in the studio, just like, a call-in show, but with your camera. And that would be a lot of fun for some of you to pop in. I had actually invited one of our patrons specifically to pop in this morning, and we'll see if she makes it. Hey, we are also brought to you by our promotional partner, New South Pro Wrestling. And today, Willow, at 3 o'clock at the Von Braun Center in Huntsville, Alabama, is their anime-themed show with it's happening at Comic-Con High. It's an anime con. But check this out. Look who's on the bill.
Ooh.
I am going to be interviewing the original bro, Matt Riddle, this afternoon. WW superstar, former U.S. champion. I think he was Intercontinental champion, World Tag Team champion. And now he's on the indie circuit and doing UFC. And I have a feeling, Willow, I mean, you know Matt Riddle, right? You know of him.
Vaguely, yeah. I kind of stopped watching wrestling, I don't know, about 10 years ago. So it's...
But 10 years ago, you were the host of a wrestling show as late as 2 years ago. What? How did that work?
I know of a lot of the newer wrestlers, but yeah, I'm more classic wrestling.
Well, Matt Riddle his nickname was Riddle Bro because he's kind of like Shaggy, the Shaggy of wrestling. And I get this feeling, and like he's a vegan and he's super into nutrition and whatnot, but I have a feeling, just based on what I know of his personality, and here comes the dogs. I've got to figure out a way to put a lock on my studio door. She just comes in here and lays down, but still. Anyway, so I have this feeling that Matt Riddle loves to just have fun. And I am willing to bet that when he's not training, that he indulges in some super sweet, fun Saturday morning cereal. And I am willing to bet that he is a fan of Saturday morning cartoons. So I can't wait to meet him and interview him this afternoon. Now, first things first, Willow, we have to ask the question of every Saturday morning. What's in the bowl? And what do you have? What is in your bowl this morning?
I am eating oatmeal, and it has some... I decided to sweeten it with almond espresso toffee.
Actually, that sounds pretty good. It
is good. It is really good. So it has it's like sweet and has a bit of a saltiness to it. I love it. It's actually really good. I'm digging that. With the almond toffee, I get what you're laying down. So this morning I am going to be doing a live taste test of Kellogg's Wednesday cereal. Now, Willow, people have not been kind to this cereal. Uh-oh.
Other reviewers. As a matter of fact, one reviewer that I really like, a good friend, Leo, he said it was an abomination.
Oh no.
Now, it's based on the Netflix original series Wednesday. It's supposed to be cookies and cream flavor with, chocolate pebbles and marshmallows. But here's the cool thing. This is back of the cereal box. So this is it is laden with Wednesday themed puzzles and games and trivia. It's a little bit dark for a cereal box for the back, but some really challenging games, because some of these you have to have watched the show to be able to solve the riddle. But here's one thing I really love is over here on this side, there's a hand pointing to the side, and it's got upside down fun facts about the Wednesday show and the character Wednesday. And did you watch Wednesday on Netflix?
Yes, I did. It wasn't bad. Like, I liked it. I can see where where they're going with it, and kind of like a Harry Potter feel to it.
Okay, so yeah, I liked Wednesday. I wasn't like over the moon because I'm not an Addams Family fan. I just find the Addams Family so weird, and it's just not my bag. I know. I'm a Munsters guy. I love the Munsters.
I love them both. Like, both the shows from the 60s were fantastic.
And so I just opened this, Willow, and it smelled. At first, I thought it smelled like the Oreo O's from Kellogg's.
Yeah, the Gothic Cheerios.
Yeah, these are really. I mean, they're like black.
Meh.
You know what? You know what that tastes like dry?
Charcoal.
It tastes like dark chocolate covered charcoal.
Oh.
All right, so we're gonna pour it in the bowl here, and here you got the marshmallows. And okay, as that stays on my tongue, it does not get better. Okay, the marshmallows, that is interesting. The marshmallows are just pure sugar taste. So we're going to pour in the oat milk. I've switched to oat milk. And the main reason is because I think the almond milk was upsetting my tummy. So people recommended oat milk. And give me just a minute. I'm going to swing over here and push that door closed. All right. So here we go. We've got it in the milk. And there's definitely like I don't know how to describe. Ooh. Like,
and it turns the milk black.
The marshmallows are turning black immediately. All right, here we go. Drum roll, please.
Nope.
Can you describe my face for the audio viewers?
He's scrunching it up. He does not like the taste at all. Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Oh my God. That's the worst cereal I've ever had. That might be the worst thing I've ever tasted. It does taste like charcoal. I don't even get any hints of chocolate in that. That is awful.
Interesting.
Kellogg's, you got to know that this was horrible. And people only bought it for the novelty of having it. Nobody, I challenge anybody in our viewing audience, our listening audience, to tell me that they tried the Wednesday cookies and cream, because it doesn't taste like cookies and cream. There is no cookies. There is no cream. There is charcoal. Oh my God, it's awful. Someone tell me they like this, because I don't believe it.
I'm looking on Reddit right now, and yeah, it's it's a crapshoot.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Now the box design is brilliant. The way they did the games to tie directly into the show, brilliant. If you're a fan of the show, you're gonna love the trivia games and the puzzles and whatnot. But golly, oh, that's getting tossed right out.
Well, someone said I had it and it tastes like burnt popcorn.
So you know what? That's good. That's good. That's a good description. Burnt popcorn. All right, so that's funny. Why is Aubrey having trouble getting into the studio this morning? Send her the link again, Willow.
I did.
I mean, it is the only link. So, listen, folks, we have some audience comments. And our audience comments are sponsored by Song Swap Showdown. Check this out.
Hey everybody, Chris Vaglou here from Song Swap Showdown. We are your weekly musical throwdown podcast. Each and every week, my co-host Amanda Sharp and I each swap 3 songs with each other that we may or may not have heard before, and then we rate those songs at a scale of 1 to 5 records, with 1 being a hard pass of a song and 5 being heavenly music to our ears. The songs are chosen by spinning the wheel of themes at the end of every single episode. But today, I am here to let you know that your weekend is not complete unless you started off by watching Back of the Cereal Box with Johnny Beyond and the rest of the crew. Love you, Johnny. Keep up the amazing work and rock it.
Rock it. That's awesome. Thank you, Chris. And you guys check out Song Swap Showdown. They do for Monday mornings what we do for Saturday mornings. All right, Willow. It's like we've been on vacation or something, because our comment section is overflowing. And starting with Dave Mattingly, who was first in the rec room. Good morning, Bat Box Tops, because we are talking about Scooby Doo meets Batman. It is Scoobtober. And he says, I love the color coordinated shaggy goatee. Like, super cool, Dave. I'm glad you like it. And Micah Longo is joining us with a bunch of smiley faces. Thank you. And Micah says, yeah, buddy. Love it. And Dave Mattingly asks about the Kellogg's Wednesday cereal. Is it made from real Wednesdays?
Huh.
And he says, can you eat Wednesday on a Saturday? You know what? No comment. I'm leaving that alone. And Dave Mattingly says, congratulations or condolences on your new job, Willow. And Willow, he says, made a spectacle of herself. Get it? Spectacle?
I see what you did there.
Let's see. Micah Longo says, a job like Tommy Chong said in Far Out, man. Okay. Wait.
I haven't.
Who is this? Who is this addressed to, Dave? He says, I still can't believe that you never saw the live-action Scooby movies until last year. That might be me. I'd never watched them.
What?
Until
you were just
covered
giving me
them.
crap about not watching wrestling.
Okay, so I have a love-hate relationship with Scooby-Doo. So as a kid, even as a kid, I hated Scooby-Doo. I never liked it. And I avoided it like the plague for the most part. It wasn't until I got married and my wife, who is an huge Scooby-Doo fan, and because when you get married, you do things with your spouse that you normally wouldn't do, like sit down and watch Scooby-Doo
Grey's
movies.
Anatomy.
Yeah, for us it was the Scooby-Doo movies, like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, and that whole series that started in the late 90s. And so I became an aficionado of what they were doing with Scooby-Doo through those movies, but I never saw the live action. And I'll tell you why. I thought Freddie Prinze Jr. was the worst choice for Freddie. And
she's here.
She is.
Good morning, Scooby Gang. I was having severe technical difficulties, but I figured it out.
So, Aubrey, here's my question. Everybody, welcome Aubrey Cavitt, your wife's favorite redhead. She's doing a fantastic Daphne this morning. Is this what Daphne would wear? Pajamas? Is this a Daphne robe?
Oh, yeah. You know why? Because Daphne, when they show her in the shows, she's got the same color on all the time. Right, Scoob?
Yeah. Right, Aubrey? So I'm sharing, Aubrey, why I was never a fan of Scooby Doo and why I never watched the live action movies until we covered them last year.
No.
And I thought Freddie Prinze Jr. was a horrible choice for Freddie. I still do. Daphne, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she did great. Matthew Illard was great. The actress that played Velma, she was extra great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
okay, so the movies were pretty good. I could have done without the whole fart scene.
Yeah, see, I hate juvenile scatological humor, and I don't like CGI characters. I hate that they did Scooby as a C. Why would you do that? Yes. When real dogs exist? And there are ways to get them to look like they're talking. And look, I know they're like Scooby Doo's a cartoon character. Well, look, you can use a real dog and then you can amplify with CGI to do expressions and whatnot. But have you ever watched a movie or a TV show where the dog's mouth moves to talk? Do you know how they get them to do that?
Peanut butter. Yeah.
They put peanut butter on the roof of their mouth.
They love peanut butter.
Yeah, and they're trying to get it off, and so it looks like they're anyway. I hated that, and I hated that all of the villains were CGI. I don't like CGI.
I was actually thinking about that, Dave. Wishbone. Who here has watched Wishbone? That's like totally our childhood, right there.
Yes, the real dog, and I mean, look, so. I'm not a fan of the Scooby Doo movies, the live action movies, but I have seen them. Seth Green makes everything better. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about this morning. Carlin Stewart is in the audience. He says, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And Dave Mattingly says, welcome to our new super friend, Blaze. It is actually not spelled either way. Dave, it is Blaize.
Oh, interesting.
Blaze Corbett. And Dave adds, Riddlebro and I are both vegans. And Dave Mattingly says, you missed it, Aubrey. You missed the charcoal cereal. And I said it is an abomination. And
no, I want to try it now. You got to give it to me if you don't like it.
Oh, it's horrible. I will bring it to you today. We'll talk off air. He says, if it's an abomination, wouldn't that make it a great Adams cereal?
Yes, you would.
Aubrey, it's the worst thing I've ever had in my life. Worst. Hey, Case Cosgrove is joining us. I'm just Case, here for Redhead Redemption.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Case. He is a friend from Discord. He does gaming, and he has his own D&D that he does live. Pretty big. So thank you, Case, if you're bringing any of your followers.
Well, and I love that Case is watching us on Facebook. So, Dave, you're on YouTube. Everybody else who's over on YouTube, do us a favor. Jump over to Facebook. Give us a thumbs up, a heart. We've got 6 emojis, 6 reactions, because that helps us out a little bit with some pennies, and it helps us pay for our broadcast studio time. Sandra Noel is joining us. Good morning, all, from Brandon, Mississippi. Sturgill Simpson has played an amazing concert. Andrew Milden says, I like that guy. What guy? What guy?
That guy?
I don't know.
Oh, and Blaze is actually an artist too, from Blazing Creations. He does wood burning and painting.
Oh, wow.
Do you know her personally?
Blaze is a gentleman.
Oh, well, because the profile picture is a girl.
Oh, maybe it's the wrong one. I could be wrong.
I don't know. Anyway, and Sandra Noel says, I'm not near any cereal, though. I have to explore Mississippi a bit, check out the Blues Crossroads, and head back to Nashville and my waffle crisp. Ooh. So she's talking about the Crossroads, where Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil to become the greatest blues guitarist of all time. True story. Actually happened. And he's not the only one. Several other celebrities at the top of their game have admitted to going to the crossroads and selling their soul to the devil. Dennis Rodman.
I think the devil tried to give him his soul back.
Yeah. Who else? Nicki Minaj, Oprah Winfrey.
We're calling out some names this morning.
Well, I mean, they publicly admitted it, so there you go. Andrew Milden says, hot take. Scooby Doo is mid. And Dave Mattingly says the live-action Scooby movies were written by James Gunn. I did not know that. No, I did know that, but I'd forgotten that because I've tried to wipe them from my mind. Hey, look who's joining us. Teresa Dunn. Teresa Dunn is a great author, poet.
Good morning.
And I've been trying to get her to tune in and join us on a Saturday morning for the last 4 years. Welcome, Teresa. So glad you're here with us because she says, I love Scooby Doo. Yeah, Dave Mattingly agrees with me. Freddie Prinze Jr. was a terrible Freddie, but Matthew Lillard stole the show.
Oh, of course. Matthew Lillard was like an amazing Scooby.
Like he wasn't Scooby. He was Shaggy. Like I've become the Shaggy. I've inherited the reins from Casey Kasem, man.
I mean, he did the voice justice, but I think what it was is I was thinking of the movie where Matthew Lillard and Scooby like changed like intelligence, and it was just, you know, they took those potions.
I hated that. Hated it.
But it's camp. We just talked about Chris. We just talked about camp and how cool camp can be and how annoying it can be too.
Chris Vaglio says good morning. And Eric Tupper says, hey, she got it working. And Chris Vaglio says, the best Saturday morning serial crew. Thank you very much. Yeah, Tony I says, I saw that Wednesday cereal in the store and avoided it. It looked so bad. Listen, I was hopeful that all of the reviewers were going to be wrong. No.
So did I miss the cereal part completely? Because I have a weird cereal today.
Yeah, no. Yeah, just I did the cereal review this morning. But what is in your bowl, Aubrey? Just mention it and show the back of the cereal box. What is that?
It's limited edition, great value cotton candy. And it does have a game. And it's got a game.
So next week, you can do a taste test and review of it.
But I'm so hungry. Okay.
Well, you can eat it now. You can put it in the bowl. But I mean like a focused review.
Okay.
So we keep the show moving, Aubrey, because you do have our next segment. And our next segment is brought to you by Nightly Spirits Ghost Tours, nightlyspirits.com. Use my promo code JohnP667 to take 10% off, and that gets you 10% off in any of the 18 cities across the country that we operate in. And Nightly Spirits is the sponsor of Prizes from the Cereal Box, also known as New Loot. And this morning, Aubrey is going to be doing kind of a mini back issue breakfast club. Show us what is in your box.
We're going to start with the back. I feel like I should take the green screen off just for this, though.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
I told you guys because Scooby Doo is filled with so much green and aqua blue that we wouldn't be using the green screens in the month of October, but somehow my note got lost in the shuffle.
It did. Is it? Okay,
That
there
works.
we go. We got
That
it.
works. Yeah.
Okay, now we can see. Okay, so this is the back because crash dummies. We got to start with that. Apparently, back of the cereal box. This is
Ooh.
a very nice Batman, and I will let you know I did read it.
What issue is it, Aubrey?
It is issue 495.
Okay.
Late June 1993.
Yes.
And the writer is Doug Monich.
Mensch.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that Mensch?
Yeah.
And then the penciler is Jim Aparo.
Yep. Jim Aparo. Classic Batman artist. But on the cover.
Yes.
On the cover.
Mhm.
It should show who the cover artist is.
Well,
Because that is not Jim Aparo cover art. That is because that Batman is
inker. It's got Moic, Aparo, and Wyek.
Wyachek is the inker on the interior art.
Yeah.
But is there not like a signature or an indication who did the cover art?
Kelly Jane? Is that right?
See, this was back in the. So, Aubrey, did you do your contextual homework here? Why that artwork is so stylized on the cover with Batman? Yeah. Okay. With the bat ears like 2 feet long.
It's an artist special.
No. This was an era of comics where everything was like super exaggerated, super extreme. You had Mike Deodato. You had I'm trying to think of the artist who did Moon Knight. You had the comic series The Max, and everything was like super, like just over the top.
Kelly Jones.
Yeah,
I think.
Kelly Jones is 93? The cover artist. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I wasn't sure if that was James or Jones.
So tell us about the story.
Okay. We're going to skip the... There are some interesting advertisements in here, but I will say that the story itself was connected to the comic before it. So I need to find the comic before, because the one thing that really stood out to me is we have Batman, right? And then we have a mention of Azrael.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I am not aware of that character.
Oh, Aubrey.
So this is going to introduce me to a whole new part of Batman.
Aubrey.
I know.
Aubrey, your comic book fan card just got pulled.
That's fine. I am one of those comic book fans that couldn't afford to invest until I was much older, closer to an adult. But the ones that I was able to get, I read like a mad person, and they fell apart, on the regular, which is why I'm terrified of touching them. But I'm doing better, as you can see.
Comics are meant to be read.
I don't shake as much, and I can put my fingers on them, so I think I'm evolving a little bit. But what I will say is I love that in this story particularly, Batman is very humanized. In this particular, he's weakened by what seems to be a fight from the previous episode. Now, here's some interesting thing that I did not understand. It shows that the continuation of the story, you look at the very bottom there.
Mm-hmm.
It's continued in another comic. So I have to look for this comic.
In Detective Comics, maybe?
In order to Robin and the Riddler. It's continued in week 1, number 662, Nightfall, part 8. Robin and the Riddler.
So Nightfall was a huge storyline.
Mm-hmm.
This is important. So Nightfall was a huge storyline in which Batman has his back broken by Bane. And
Bane is in here.
And yeah, so they've introduced Bane. Azrael starts as a villain, as an adversary. Batman gets his back broken in a fight with Bane, can no longer be Batman, and Azrael takes over as Batman.
Okay.
And it was the worst of the 90s.
So excited to learn the worst of the 90s in comics now, because this is I was too young and didn't have enough money to buy the comics then.
But
so like I wasn't making any money at that point.
Well, and this was part of what was called the speculator boom of the 90s, where the major companies were just throwing whatever they had against the wall, and whether it was good or not, and fans were buying everything that came out. And Nightfall was a huge, impactful storyline, even though it was part of that speculator boom and part of the extreme over-the-top stuff. It did establish Bane as a real threat. It did establish Azrael, and it established a succession of the Batman cowl. And it's not the first time that somebody else has become Batman. Well, it was the first time, but it wasn't the last time. And Dick Grayson took over for a period, and there were other Batman throughout the years since then.
I knew about Robin taking over. I knew about, the other Batmans, but Azrael might have briefly heard something in passing. But honestly, like
Willow,
this is a new thing for me. I'm excited.
Oh my God.
Super Mario Brothers. Willow, can you do a quick Google search and find Azrael Batman? Because once he becomes Batman, you guys got to see this outfit. Yeah, so for those of you who are just listening, Aubrey is more a fan of the ads than the story, and so she cannot help but show the ads. And I miss the ads in comics for sure.
People used to complain about it all the time, but it really does date them in a perfect way that makes it very obvious. There we go. There's Azrael right there. This is my first introduction to Azrael. I'm excited because now I need to know who this character is.
Is that Azrael is like wow, that's really weird because that's must be how he was first introduced, and that's like his ninja era. But he takes on a very different look later on, and then once he becomes Batman, do we have that yet, Willow?
I have to sift through crap. Just give me a sec.
Uh-oh. Now, here's the other thing that started during the speculator boom was what you just discovered, was these massive crossovers between titles, where one story would start in one issue of a book, and then it would continue in an issue of a separate book. And and that frustrated people. All right, let's see what we got. Yes. That's perfect.
You guys were talking about?
Yeah, so on the right, that is Azrael Batman. That is...
And that is the reason why we have a whole bunch of crappy toys of Batman.
Wait, that is so cool. So you're saying this might be the first...
It could be the first appearance.
The first appearance of him. So that's kind of cool that I found it. Let us know in the comments if this is the first time we've met Azrael in the Batman comics, especially because, like I said, I am new to this character. So, okay, I am introduced to a new character in the Batman universe that I never heard of. Of course, I love Poison Ivy, and I thought about dressing up like her for this, but then I was like, okay, well, we're doing Scooby Doo, so Daphne has to come out of the costume.
Yeah. So I'm going to show this image. Let me see if this will bring up, because this is how most people know Azrael from his solo series, The Sword of Azrael.
Ooh.
You can see he's very different.
Yeah, that's a totally different outfit.
Yeah, And of course, this was his Batman outfit.
His first appearance was Batman, Sword of Azrael, #1, October 1992.
Well, that's it. Right there,
Okay.
Batman,
Created
Sword of
by-
Azrael.
Yeah, created by Denny O'Neil, Joe Quesada, Peter Milligan, and yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I
So-
wonder why he's in a different outfit in that issue of Batman. That's
Yeah,
not
so
his
wait, it
first
said
appearance.
93. This is 93. He was
Oh.
showing up in 92,
Yeah,
and this came out in 1993.
yeah.
So maybe he was just too new.
No, this is his first appearance, Aubrey.
Mhm.
In 1992,
Okay.
Batman, Sword of Azrael. And for whatever reason, in that issue of Batman, he's
Mhm.
undercover in a different look.
In
I
a
don't know why.
completely different look.
It should tell you in the story.
It does not. That's why I need to read the one before it. He still talks about feeling like hell, but Batman felt like hell. And even if only worthy of this imitation costume, neither Azrael nor Batman. That's what he said.
All right, so Dave Mattingly, Sal Velluto, he was the Moon Knight artist from the 90s. Ridiculous.
Uh-oh.
Ridiculous.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And Chris Vaglio says, I loved the Azrael storyline, Nightfall. And Baron Lore says, where I'll watch, air quotes, kids' movies from recent years while I multitask during the weekends. I mostly enjoyed one of the live action Scooby Doo from the last few years. Matthew Lillard's performance was totally spot on. Yes, we agree. We agree. And yeah, so many comments about the stylized Batman. Chris Vaglio says Bane's plan in that series was pretty good to wear down Batman. Dave Mattingly says, not all fans were buying everything that came out. I just read the stuff that I liked. The Tick, Milk and Cheese, Moon Knight, Watchmen, Flaming Carrot. Yeah. And Chris Vaglio says, Milk and Cheese. Indie comics at their best.
Okay, I will agree with Chris, though. Bane had a great idea, and you can see some of that in that episode.
Okay. And Dave Mattingly says Azrael's Batman costume was indeed horrendous. And even check out his red outfit, ugh. And Dave Mattingly says Azrael taking over as Batman reminded me of Kraven the Hunter taking over for Spider-Man back in 1986.
Facts.
Yeah. Although that was a totally different thing. Kraven's Last Hunt. If you've never read Kraven's Last Hunt, you absolutely must. It is one of the finest Spider-Man stories ever told. And it's like the story that most fans say should be adapted to a movie. And I say at first blush, I'm like, yes, it should be. And then I'm like, I remember what Hollywood does to great stories in adaptations. And I'm like, no, don't touch this story. It's perfect. Perfect. So anyway, hey, you know what? It is time for us to move on to our main topic. It is Scoobtober here in October. And we are talking about the new Scooby Doo movies. Scooby Doo meets Batman and Robin, and Tale of the Tape. The new Scooby Doo movies is an American animated mystery comedy television series produced by Hanna-Barbera for CBS. It is the second television series in the Scooby Doo franchise, and it follows the first incarnation, Scooby Doo, Where Are You? It's like a direct sequel. And it premiered on September 9th, 1972, and ended on October 27th, 1973, running 2 seasons on CBS as the only hour-long Scooby-Doo series. 24 episodes were produced, 16 for the 72 to 73 season, and 8 more for the 73 to 74 season. And aside from doubling the length of each episode, the new Scooby Doo movies differed from the previous series in that it added a rotating special guest star every episode. And it featured real-world celebrities, well-known animated characters joining the Mystery Inc. gang and solving mysteries. And this concept was later revisited with a series called Scooby Doo and Guess Who in 2019. Now, let's just talk about some of the guest stars who appeared on this show. We had the Harlem Globetrotters, Jerry Reed, Davy Jones, the Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy, Don Knotts, Sonny and Cher, Sandy Duncan, Phyllis Diller, the Addams Family, the Three Stooges, and in the case, Cass Elliot, Dick Van Dyke, the cast of Speed Buggy, Don Adams, Tim Conway. And in the case of the real-world celebrities, they voiced their own character. They appeared as themselves. And Aubrey, Willow, I probably listed off a bunch of celebrities that you're like, I've never heard of these people ever before.
Excuse me. I'm cultured.
No. I love the Dick
I'm
Van
very
Dyke.
much cultured and nerd. Thank you very much.
Well, but you're very young.
I was raised by older people when I was younger. So Dick Van Dyke Show, black and whites. Dude, I like that stuff.
All right. So I saw this show for the first time in syndication, starting in 1980. And they broke up when it entered syndication. They broke up these hour-long episodes into 2-parters, and that's how I remember watching this. Now, we are specifically talking about Batman and Robin, and there were 2 episodes. So when I was a kid, it actually was 4 parts. 2 different episodes, episode number 2 and episode number 15. Episode 2 was the dynamic Scooby Doo affair, and the episode 15 was the Cape Crusader caper. And basically, in the dynamic Scooby Doo affair, the gang meets Batman and Robin, and they have to solve a counterfeiting mystery. There's a counterfeiter who is stuffing, what do you call them? Clown bop bags. The knock 'em down bag clowns full of counterfeit money. And then for whatever reason, was it in that episode that, yeah, you had this dryad, these dryads appear.
Wasn't that in the other episode?
See, I get them confused. I just watched them this week.
That was in the other episode. Yes, there you go.
But it was Joker and Penguin disguised as dryads. But with the counterfeiting,
one was a dryad and one was a troll for under the bridge.
Yeah.
He was ridiculous. That's the second episode. That's with the money laundering.
Okay. And this is
That's the money launderer.
Mrs. Baker, who rides a unicycle and is apparently threatening on a unicycle. What?
I love how they're like, oh, I wonder what happened to that poor sweet old lady. And Batman's like, it must have been a man. Couldn't have been her. And then Scooby-Doo getting is like, we're used to unmasking these people. Like, I don't know. They kept mentioning the old lady. And Batman's like, nah, it's got to be a guy. No, even sweet old ladies can scam you. She had everything bolted to the floor, and Shaggy was the only one who noticed. He was like, hey, I wonder why all her furniture is
and how about the entire house flips over to disappear? look, I want that house. So I told you guys. Oh, and by the way, I told you guys I was not a fan of Scooby Doo as a kid, and yet I've probably got more Scooby Doo apparel than any other IP apparel. I've got the Mystery Machine hat. I'm wearing my Scooby Doo pajamas from Essex Bargain Hunt. Let's see if I can show you that pattern. Yep, Scooby. And there's a picture on our Facebook page. But I was not a fan of Scooby Doo. However, when these 2 episodes came out, Scooby Doo meets Batman. As a kid, I was a huge Batman fan because I was a huge superhero fan. That got my attention. And I remember, because it was so groundbreaking, you didn't have IPs crossing over in 1972, even in 1980. This just was not a thing. And so to see Batman and Robin pop up on Scooby-Doo, I was just like, oh my God, this is the best thing that has ever happened in my life. And I actually became a fan of this series because of the guest stars. I was a fan of those guest stars. And I loved that real world people were coming into a cartoon universe. I just thought that was the coolest thing. Before Space Jam, there was the new Scooby Doo movies. And so I won't say that this made me a fan, but as a kid, I absolutely adored these episodes. As an adult, trying to watch them again and enjoy them, it was so painful.
What about you, Willow?
So painful.
See, okay, I loved Scooby-Doo as a kid. I grew up with it. I wasn't a huge fan of these movies so much. I hate the laugh track. I despise the fact that they went that way with Scooby-Doo and with the Flintstones.
Well, but with the Flintstones,
the laughter. I was like,
I don't like the laugh track is useless. Oh.
Yeah, look, I hate laugh tracks too on anything. If you're going to have laughter, do it in front of a live studio audience. Now, at least the Flintstones was authentically funny.
Yeah.
It's the best written show, one of the top 5 best written shows on television ever.
Absolutely. Movie sucked, but
you know, the live action movies have their fans. I mean, look, Halle Berry as Miss Stone.
I knew that was coming out of the box. I knew it. I can't deny that. I was the same way. I was like, I want to watch that movie again because of Halle Berry. Not gonna lie, Halle, I still love you. You know, I would love to meet you one day.
Well, I might be able to arrange that.
Oh, I will dress as a character if I get to meet her.
Someone get Halle on the phone for me. It's been a while since we've chatted, but one time she called me while I was on stage at the Nashville Dinner Theater. I had to take it.
Wait, like for real? Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You didn't know that Halle Berry and I dated for a while?
in your dreams.
I'm so confused right now. Is it because I haven't had enough coffee? You know what? That's what it is. I haven't had my coffee this morning. What happened again? I was listening to stuff about Scooby Doo and dreaming about Halle Berry, and then my boss said something about dating her. Willow, what do you think?
I am trying very hard not to use a word that could get us banned. So,
Oh, it's true.
Wait, why? Okay, well, I'd love to meet her.
I'll see what I can do.
Completely serious. I will dress up like a Flintstone character to meet Halle Berry. 100%.
That might be a little bit odd.
Oh no, but yes, no, but yes.
To meet her at a convention, that's one thing. But in real life, to sit down at dinner or, you know.
Well, no. What? Dinner? Oh, God. See, what people don't know is I'm a fangirl, but when I actually fangirl in front of somebody, it goes, Okay, so one day I'll tell the story of how I met Chiana from Farscape and when exactly that. You're Chiana.
That's so funny.
It wouldn't say anything good. It wouldn't say anything good. It was just like, pretty girl. Do you know who you are?
That's funny because I personally know or have worked with so many celebrities. And I know them personally as friends. I don't care if they're famous or not. Celebrities do not impress me.
Oh, no, Johnny, it's not about the fame. It's about seeing that character on the screen and then meeting the person that made the person character. You know what I mean? And then meeting them and going, hi, you're a person. You know that, right?
See, no, I don't understand that at all. I don't get that at all. Yeah, now, I will meet them. And I'll be like, hey, I really love your work. I really appreciate what you do. And that's the extent of it.
Well, it took me like 5 minutes to talk to Larry Elmore instead of just smile and wave and be like, this is so cool.
And then you got to interview him.
So see, guys, when you see my reaction is completely genuine. I am very neurodivergent and also a fan. So
well, years ago when I was hanging out with one of the costuming groups in my city, they all dressed, they all did like the 501st stuff. And I was hanging around at their table. Billy D. Williams rolls by in his wheelchair. And I'm just like, and all the other guys were just completely ignoring the fact that he was near our booth. I'm just like, guys. Bye.
So, y'all, we have a great comment from Clyde Hall. Now, he's joining us, and he says the new Scooby Doo movies, Batman and Robin episodes, were my high water mark for animated team ups until the Space Ghost Batman episode of Batman Brave and the Bold. By the way, good morning, everyone. And you know what, Clyde? I did not know that they did a Space Ghost Batman team up in Brave and the Bold. That is maybe one of the most underrated series of all time. Brave and the Bold is so funny. And next week, we are going to be covering the Scooby Doo Batman Brave and the Bold movie. So we'll be taking a deep dive into Brave and Bold, and every episode of the Brave and the Bold I've seen, I absolutely adore.
Okay, I know it was difficult to watch these two movies that you had assigned to me because it was difficult for me. I'm not going to lie. I fell asleep the first time, and then I had to watch them again. Burning the candle at both ends when you're a grandma, too. But my question is to both of you. Okay, I have a favorite moment in the show.
Okay.
My favorite moment is when all reality stops because Scooby-Doo and Shaggy get told by Daphne that, hey, guys, it's us. And they're midair, flying into land in the water. And they stop, and they back up, and they back up until they get to the edge of the water. And then they go down. So all reality has broken for a moment, just for Scooby-Doo and the gang. That is my favorite moment. It is the most ridiculous. It is a lot of ridiculousness in camp. But that
is an example of Shaggy's superpower.
Oh, what?
You don't know this theory?
I thought this was attached to Scooby-Doo's like being an alien. What is this? What is the theory of Shaggy now?
No,
Besides the
no.
fact that he's a great acrobat.
So, Willow, you know this theory, right? About Shaggy?
Please let us know what you're talking about.
So Shaggy, the fan theory is that Shaggy is actually has reality warping powers and is the most powerful character in animation comic books. And there's a custom skin, a custom character that you can build for Mortal Kombat and play as Shaggy in Mortal Kombat. And I forget what they call him, not Ultimate Power Shaggy, something like that. You've never heard this theory that, like the reason why he can eat and eat and eat and eat is because he actually displaces the food into another dimension.
You've got a pocket dimension inside him. Oh no!
So we're gonna ignore the fact that he's drugged up on pot and he has a high metabolism.
Is he?
Okay. There's also the theory that he ditched the draft, so maybe he used his powers for that too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you. It's called Ultra Instinct Shaggy, and it started as this Mortal Kombat character, but it actually was incorporated into the Scooby Doo movie, the live action movie. I think number 2. You remember he gets all jacked up and super powerful, and it was then introduced as a concept in one of the TV shows. Okay, so here is
in canon now. Oh my gosh!
What's that?
So wait. So what you're saying is Shaggy and Scooby are like an actual super couple?
I guess.
Like they're a full team up of superheroes.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my god!
This is Shaggy getting powered up and reaching through the Warner Brothers emblem into another dimension to take out Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And let me see if I can get the photo from where he
Shaggy really? Who really are they?
Where he fights the biker gang.
Were they even teenagers? Were they both aliens? Oh my god! There is a rabbit hole here. There is a severe rabbit hole. I knew about Scooby. You're breaking my brain this morning. I knew about Scooby being an alien. I did not know that Shaggy, his best buddy. No wonder Shaggy can understand him. Wait a second. There are so many things. This rabbit hole.
How high are these people? That's what I want to know. I'm sorry. How high are you to create such a...
Not high enough. Not high enough for this reveal here. I don't...
I can't believe you've never heard this theory.
No, I've never heard of it, and I'm not really seeing much on Google either about any of this. Although what did pop up was
what are you not telling me?
Drug-induced reality. There is also another theory of Shaggy being a drug addict. Obvious. He was a lonely boy who would go to school and was bullied by Velma, Freddy, and Daphne, who all teased by calling him Shaggy, saying he smells and generally making fun of him in every way.
No, that never happened. That never happened.
I heard that theory. I did hear that theory. That's something I've heard before. And if it were not for the episodes that were purely about Shaggy and getting to know his family, he is the poorest of the crowd. His family had the least amount of money, and he didn't really care about keeping up with trends or trying to stay in society, but his friends still liked hanging out with him. You know, he was the one that was slightly picked on a lot, more than Velma in some of the earlier episodes especially. But I have to say that they did develop his character nicely. This is something completely new. I don't know this Shaggy.
I don't know what reality this Shaggy is from, but obviously I want to get to know this. And Azrael. Oh,
All right.
Johnny's face on. He's got something.
So here's the photo from the live action movie. Hopefully this will load. The live action visual representation of, oh, it's not going to let me load it. Doggone it. So hard to find JPEGs because we have to use JPEGs for our studio. And everything is a stupid AVI file or website complete file. But
So Willow, while Johnny is doing that, like, what is your favorite of these two weird movies? What is your favorite moment? Because I expressed my moment, which is where I got the reveal of Shaggy.
I love how, like the first movie, where the whole gang, including Batman and Robin, are standing around a bonfire, and Batman just says, it knows who they are, like, immediately. And it's like, wait, as far as I know, they didn't introduce each other to Batman and Robin. They just
Mystery
know who
Inc.
each other are.
Mystery Inc. were famous crime solvers.
That's pretty cool. Mystery Inc. And why were they so close to
Gotham? Have like a moment of introducing who each character is, though, right? I don't know. That's just me.
All right, so here's where this super ultra instinct Shaggy becomes canon. So they recently produced a video game called Multiverses. I don't know if it's actually out yet or not, but if anyone's played it, you play as Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
What? He's voiced by Matthew Lillard? Yes.
Yeah. And Shaggy enters and obliterates like everything using 1% of his ultimate power. So, yeah. Ultra Instinct Shaggy, take a deep dive, and we probably have people who are watching that are shouting at us because you guys didn't know about this this theory.
Please talk to us about this Ultimate Shaggy, because this is one of my favorite. I used to dress as Velma because I was quite nerdy and plump, and also I had a crush on Velma. But now I have long hair, so I do Daphne. That is not the only reason why I have a Scooby. I love this show, even though the camp is there. It's so much a rabbit hole ever since looking at the faces of the studying here. You know, I'm saying, like, anybody else, have you heard this? Because we know, well, all of us don't know, but some of us know that Scooby is probably an alien. Does anybody else know about the Shaggy?
So they introduced that idea of Scooby being an alien in Mystery Inc., the TV show Mystery Inc., that maybe he was a descendant of
Which I'm rewatching right now.
Yeah, it's a great show. I actually love that. But I don't think Scooby is an alien. I think Scooby is cybernetically enhanced.
No. I want him to be a real puppy. I don't want him to be a cyborg. You're making Scooby a cyborg? Is that what everybody's doing now? Is everybody going to become a cyborg? Come on, guys. We don't need everyone to be a robot.
Well, and that was first introduced as a plot device in the Scooby Apocalypse comic book series. Yeah. So, and Dave Mattingly says, you think Scooby Doo is a dino mutt? Well, look, it is not that far of a stretch, because after the new Scooby Doo movies, the series was followed in 1976 by the Scooby Doo Dino Mutt Hour, which I absolutely loved because I'm a huge fan of the Blue Falcon. But Aubrey, I know that you are a huge fan of the voice actors on these shows that we review. And can we just talk, since we're talking about Shaggy, you know, Shaggy was originally voiced by Casey Kasem.
Yes, one of my favorite voice actors. I could always point him out. So having him as Shaggy and Batman, I mean Robin. Yeah. What?
Well, and he played Robin on the Super Friends Saturday morning series as well. Some other real life celebrities that did voices on this show, some of them as themselves, but John Astin reprised his role as Gomez Adams in the episode Wednesday is Missing. He was Gomez Adams on the television show. Sonny and Cher played themselves in The Secret of Shark Island. Tim Conway was himself. Let's see, Jackie Coogan. Now, I know Jackie Coogan's name is not a household name, but if you look him up, he is all over early Hollywood. He was a child star, and when you see his face, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. Scatman Carruthers was the voice of Meadowlark Lemon on the Scooby Doo movies Ghostly Creep from the Deep, The Loch Ness Mess, and Mystery of Haunted Island. Phyllis Diller was herself. Sandy Duncan played herself. Dick Van Dyke, Cass Elliot, Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster played Pugsley Adams.
That is so cool. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, in the Scooby Doo movie episode Wednesday is Missing. Who else? Davy Jones from the Monkees. Let's see, Jonathan Winters. Of course, Mel Blanc did a bunch of voices. Jamie Farr from MASH. He played Corporal Klinger. He voiced the character. Mark Hamill was Corey Anders in the episode Mystery in Persia.
Cool.
Ted Knight from the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Too Close for Comfort and the Caddyshack movie. He played a gunslinger in the ghastly Ghost Town, and he was the Penguin in these episodes. Let's see. Larry Storch from F Troop and from the Filmation Ghostbusters series was the voice of the Joker in these two episodes.
That's what I was trying to pinpoint.
Yeah. So, I mean, we just had from a Saturday morning standpoint in 1972, 1973, this was like a who's who of Hollywood actors and voice actors.
I love when they do that, and they do it now all the time.
Yeah, well.
So star power is what you're saying that drew you to this Scooby-Doo series.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, look who just joined us. Zentron is joining us. He says, hello, fellow cereal boxers. I've been out for a morning organized walk and just got back. Welcome back, Zentron. Glad to have you.
Always healthy to touch grass.
Yeah. So Baron Lore mentions the power of Shaggy. This power of, quote unquote, power of Shaggy's is not much different from the wild powers found in anime and manga. For example, D from Vampire Hunter D has, for lack of a better phrasing, a hole in his hand that is symbiotic familiar, describing the purpose of this entity is awkward to describe, yet its abilities allow it to save D's life a time or two. So, Baron, next Imaginarium, I think we're just going to need to have you as a guest live on the air. Yeah. So
I looked a little bit more into this theory and came across the fact that it was created as a meme.
Yep.
And then WB just kind of jumped on it.
Yeah, and then it became incorporated into Mortal Kombat. It became incorporated into multiverses, and several other comic series have had Shaggy powering up. And basically, it gets how it works, Aubrey, is that Shaggy gets so frightened that his brain shuts off and he goes into only instinctual mode.
Oh my gosh, that is very anime right there. Okay, I'm going to say that's very anime for a character to lose themselves completely and then just go absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and wow. I tried to pull the images from the episode where he fights the biker gang. And he destroys this biker gang. And, you know, he
chalked that up that time to the fact that he's actually supposed to be a very good acrobat. He's supposed to be very physical. He's supposed to be able to be a trapeze artist and do all kinds of other stuff. Speaking of trapeze scenes from these that we had to watch, can I explain to this audience? I love you guys, so I would never tell you to watch something that's going to make my brain hurt. So I'm just warning you, trigger warning, it made my brain hurt to watch the trapeze scene in these movies because the animation was so rough. Like,
it was very rough.
My eyes cross. It was so rough. And then there were some times where Batman had a hand and he had a ring on his hand and he was pointing. And then the next second, his hand was a glove and there was no ring. And I'm like, hey.
Well, and can we talk about how often they inverted the bat symbol? It was black and yellow. And this always irritated the fire out of me about these episodes. The exposed neck on the cowl. That was a coloring error, but it was consistent through both of these episodes. And that just, I mean, it's an obvious mistake.
Also, in these earlier episodes, Shaggy says jinkies. That's a Velma word. What is going on with the universe? Jinkies. Shaggy was like, he says he gets in trouble in one of these episodes, and he says jinkies. No, that's Velma's I found it sound. What are you doing with that, Shaggy? Get that out of your mouth.
Jinkies. What's a jinky? Do you know what that's from? Oh, maybe we need to make that an episode.
We should do that because you've done those voices. I don't know how many times, and it's hilarious.
That's Johnny Bravo. Scooby Doo Johnny Bravo crossover was epic.
Somebody get Johnny a Johnny Bravo wig so we can see this. Because it would be Willow. You know it. Willow, you know it.
I'm pretty.
He'll wear the jeans. He's a big guy. Get the big wig. Oh my gosh! Like hilarious. We need this, people. You need to get him a wig. We need the money. We're gonna fundraise, and then we got to do something so Johnny dresses up as Johnny Bravo. I want this now.
I've been dying to do Johnny Bravo for years. All right, so more comments. And we talked about this last week. Dave Mattingly says the bat symbol inverted because it was a mood ring bat symbol. There are later episodes. There are later episodes of Batman animated series, of Brave and the Bold, where they acknowledge this and do it on purpose. Dave Mattingly says Shaggy was the first Jar Jar.
Oh, right, Dave. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was more tolerable than Jar Jar, though.
Oh, well, I mean, that's why we got a little bit of Jar Jar. Just a little sprinkle.
Zentron says Shaggy does say jinkies a fair few times throughout each of the different shows. So it wasn't exclusively. I don't really
recall. I think it was more like what I recall his quote was
Zoinks! Zoinks, Scoob!
Exactly. That became his classic thing. And hey guys was Fred's. I don't know why.
Hey guys, we should split up. Daphne and I'll go up to the attic where the beds are. Wait, what?
But the romances. We're not going to go into that right now. But Willow,
and the whole Valley Girl thing, like, okay, is Scooby Doo like is the team from California? Is that the?
I think they are. Aren't they?
Okay, because that would explain the overusage of
like for real, man. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of harmless kids in a van traveling the city when we're supposed to be in school, doing stuff that the police are like, what are you doing?
Well, you know, because the police are an arm of the government, and government is completely ineffectual.
Yeah. Again, circling back to YB's kids. These kids
well, real
are
life
driving around in a van.
I mean, in real life, I mean, look, the only thing the government does well is break things and kill people. So
they're not a sponsor, thank goodness.
Okay. So someone needs to create a YouTube channel, Van Life Mystery Machine.
Ooh,
yes.
you guys.
Does anybody need a Daphne for a
You
live
guys.
action?
You
Weirdness.
guys, I desperately want a Mystery Machine van. Now, there's a comic book shop here in Middle Tennessee that has one, but I want one myself. And if our fans would pony up on Patreon, patreon.com/serialboxpodcast. Look, it's only a couple $1,000s to buy a van and have it wrapped like the Mystery Machine.
I'll do a photo shoot in the van.
If anybody has a 1980s Dodge Caravan
that we can put a sticker on,
please
send it our way. It doesn't have to work.
I will totally do that. We can travel across the country doing in the Scooby Mystery Machine, and you know what we could do? Oh my gosh.
Show up randomly to people's houses and go, hi.
No.
Are you a best man?
No. So we take the Mystery Machine to cereal bars across the country. We eat cereal. We talk about Scooby Doo. And then after that, we go on the ultimate pizza quest because Shaggy loves pizza. They're always going to the pizzeria, right? So as a matter of fact, in this episode, they're camping. And Shaggy's like, man, can we order a pizza? Because I'm starving.
They look at him like he's insane. Like, we're in the middle of the forest, Shaggy.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of the forest.
We take the Mystery Machine to cereal bars and pizza places, and then we make side trips to like roadside attractions or, you know, comic book shops or, you know, toy stores or whatnot. And we make it a whole thing.
I mean, Johnny, you would not make a bad Fred because you do good voices. But are you going to wear a wig to do Shaggy?
Sure.
Okay. So we need like.
But I'm a little bit too heavy to be Shaggy. I got to lose like 100 more pounds.
No. I am not transforming into an 18-year-old, so you're fine. We're the older Scooby Doo gang, obviously. Can somebody let me borrow a giant Great Dane?
No, we don't age. We level up like Ultimate Instinct Shaggy.
Yes. You're gonna have to have green glowing contacts.
We need to visit all of the malt shops, pizzeria and malt shops. You know, 50s diners. Yeah, absolutely. And Dave Mattingly says there is a Mystery Machine here in Louisville, just a mile from my church. Hey, see if they'll let us rent it, Dave. Dave Mattingly also says Scooby-Doo, the real bad guys are all rich white guys.
Oh my God, they said that in like more than one episode. They're like, hello. So they're not against the government, Johnny. They're against big money. They're against big money. That's what it is. Come on, guys.
It's Old Man Jenkins.
Oh, yeah. And who's in bed with Old Man Jenkins? Not Apple.
The mayor. It's always the mayor. You know, the rich white guy. Yeah.
So, something out for revenge. Like the insurance guys. Those were funny.
So before we get our final thoughts and have to run, because I got to run down to Huntsville. But I want to show this because this series and this crossover spawned one of my favorite comic book series of all times. And it just came out 4 or 5 years ago, and it's still running on comic shelves every week, every month. The Batman Scooby Doo Mysteries. These are the trade paperbacks, volume 3 and 4, and every issue Scooby and the gang team up with Batman and Robin to solve a caper. And it's it's definitely got the Saturday morning art style, and it's written by Amanda Dibert, and the art is by Solly Fetch. And Solly Fetch is maybe the unsung hero of this series.
Wait, does Daphne not have a nose in that?
No, she does. And basically this series has taken all of the Scooby-Doo tropes and like capitalized on them. No, she does. It's just indicated with two little nostrils.
They also have Arkham Asylum, right, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, everything from Batman and Scooby-Doo throughout the years is like realized in this series. It's a phenomenal series. And Clyde Hall, who is a friend of the show, a Patreon supporter, he loves it. So Dave Mattingly says, I highly recommend the Scooby-Doo Batman Brave and Bold crossover movie from a couple of years ago. Well, guess what, Dave? That's next week. Ta-da! You're welcome.
Woohoo!
It's Barkham Asylum.
Yes, Barkham Asylum. I've got one, so I might want to show that off.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Free comic day.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So last thoughts, final thoughts, Willow, about these episodes. You can be honest.
It's been very geared towards children. I don't know, I'm sure adults still enjoy watching these shows from time to time, but I'm not. It's too jinky for me.
I love that. Aubrey, your final thoughts about Scooby-Doo meets Batman.
I am a Scooby-Doo fan through and through. I love the Mystery Gang. I will say that I've never seen these. As honest as ever when it comes to this, I never saw these episodes, and it's super camp. It's the super camp version, but honestly, between the old sounds, the actors' voices, the cameos, still worth a watch. I agree, Johnny. I may not have been gravitating to this because of the famous people and the big names, but it was definitely helpful, and it made it a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. As a kid, I was absolutely obsessed with this show. As an adult, I love it for what it was, and I love, reliving the nostalgia and the feelings that I had as a kid. But these episodes were incredibly painful for me to watch. They just weren't good. That doesn't make them bad or not worth watching. Definitely check them out for yourself, but just beware. Just beware.
I wish that they would release them without the laugh track.
So next week when we cover Brave and the Bold, and I've already sent you the link to this movie. So Aubrey, I know you're really bad at keeping track of our conversations. It's in the thread.
I will search the thread.
Batman, Scooby-Doo meets Batman Brave and the Bold. That will be a complete opposite experience from this, because it is so well written. It is so beautifully animated. It is a modern classic, and you guys are going to love it. So I think that's it, except Aubrey, you were not part of the show when I announced that this afternoon, as soon as we get off air, I'm jumping in the car. I'm heading down to Huntsville for the New South Pro Wrestling event at the Von Braun Center. And Matt Riddle versus Tony Evans. I'm going to hopefully snag an interview with Riddle Bro, who is a real-life Shaggy. He is a real-life Ultimate Instinct Shaggy.
Oh, I would love to meet him one day.
Yeah, so, but did you guys see the unboxing of the huge crate of treats I got from General Mills?
Yes.
Aubrey,
Oh, cool.
do you want me to bring you some on my way back from Huntsville?
Yes, please.
Are you gonna be around tonight?
Oh, well, actually, I'm face painting at an event tonight.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that is it for us this week. If you guys love the show, make sure you contribute, become a Superbox Cereal Box Super Friend at patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast. And, you know, while you're surfing the internet, visit our charity partner, Comic Books for Kids.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
Outstanding. And if you like the show, tell 200-300 of your closest friends and family to come share the fun. Give us a thumbs up, a heart on Facebook, whatever platform you're listening. Give us a review. Give us 5 stars. Make it good. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook Watch, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the page, click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Those are our calls to action for you. And of course, patreon.com/cerealboxpodcast. I know we don't deserve your financial support, but we really do appreciate it. And it really does help us improve this show. And in more ways than you can even imagine. Willow, you got a Geeky Discoveries tomorrow night.
Do.
What's going on that show?
I will have Mick Strawn on. He worked on Nightmare on Elm Street, the series, as well as some of the movies. He also worked on movies such as Mortal Kombat, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Blade. He pretty much worked on my whole childhood. I cannot wait to talk to him because he also did a commercial for us Canadians to warn us that machinery is dangerous. He worked on a robot called Astar that gave us all freaking nightmares because this thing can detach its whole body.
That's funny. That's
so cool. So you're doing that tomorrow? What time?
8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. Aubrey, you're welcome to join us. Johnny, if you have nothing else going for you, you can join us too. You might probably have lots of questions. But yeah, please come join us in the chat and ask away your questions.
Aubrey, you're face painting today.
Mm-hmm.
For what event?
EDM festival at Nirvana Roadhouse in Pulaski.
Very cool. Very cool. Come by, see Aubrey, get your face painted.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be a lot of fun. Chris Vaglio says, great show today. Sent some stars earlier. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Zentron says about these episodes of Scooby Doo, 3 stars for him.
Oh, understandable.
I think that's fair. 3 stars, 3 bowls of cereal. By the way, Wednesday cereal, 1 out of 5 bowls gets a -45.
No.
Awful.
No.
But I'm bringing it to you, Aubrey, so
Okay.
you can experience the horrendous abomination that is Wednesday cereal.
I'm interested to compare it to the cotton candy. Oh, that would be fun because the colors of the cotton candy is her roommate
Next
Wednesday.
week.
Next
week.
Next
Yeah.
week we'll do that. We'll
Next
do cotton candy and Wednesday.
You can compare and contrast. Oh my God, that's going to be good TV. All right. So that is it for us, folks. Until the next time, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the back of the cereal box. Ta-da!
Have a good day.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss,